snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hi guys! So I am here today to do a joint book review. I'm actually going to be reviewing two graphic novels, and they are Lazarus Volume 1 and Prophet Remission Volume 1. So these are not in the same series. I just wanted to review them together because they're both graphic novels and otherwise they'd be really short reviews. So let's start with Remission, which is by Graham. This is actually a book that I didn't really know anything about when I picked it up. I just bought it because I liked the cover and I liked the artwork. I felt like the artwork was very pretty and there were kind of different styles in each one. So this is one of the pages that I absolutely adored. I felt like it was just very, very beautiful. And yeah, I didn't really know a lot about it when I picked it up. All I knew was that it was kind of a sci-fi type book, and I didn't know what it was focused on or what it was linked to or anything. Since reading this, I found out that there was a series that was called Prophet that came out a long time ago, and it wasn't ever finished off or it wasn't ever finalised, and it kind of got cut short. And this is the reissuing or rebranding of Prophet. So you don't have to have read the origin story because I still understood this, but I guess it might make things a little bit easier, I'm not sure. This book did seem to be a little bit confused when I first jumped into it. I wasn't entirely sure exactly what I was reading or where it was going to go, but it basically is the story of this man called John Prophet, this one here, who's like skydiving onto a face. He has been left for hundreds or thousands of years in cryosleep, which is basically where his body has been preserved and he's coming out of cryosleep, and he's the only human in the solar system from what we see in this book, and he kind of has to prepare for humankind to come back to the solar system, presumably after some terrible tragedy has happened and it meant that they all had to go into cryosleep. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know the full origin story, but that was what I understood from reading this. And we basically have, I think, 5 different stories in this one. It's issues 21 to 26 of Prophet, and we follow him as he comes out from cryosleep and he goes on these sort of adventures. The first 3 adventures are all in the same art style and they're all in the similar sort of vein. The 4th and the 5th one in here are in a different art style and they kind of have a different tone to them slightly. So I really enjoyed 2 of these stories. I enjoyed the first one, that was the 3 first issues. I felt like that was a very developed one compared to the others, and it was fun. And I also really enjoyed the one that was actually not necessarily focused on John Prophet, but was focused on this kind of little cute alien robot type thing. I don't really know what he was or like the whole relevance of who he is, but I loved it in the art style and I felt like it was an interesting story and it kind of broke up the rest of it quite a lot. Basically, this is a weird kind of sci-fi space exploration with a lot of creepy monsters and weird, crazy ideas all thrown together into this book, and I really did enjoy it. I felt like it was done well and it was really interesting, but because I hadn't read the origin story I was a bit confused at points as well. On the whole, I thought this was a good one and a fun one, and apparently I think there's like 3 other volumes that are already out in this series, the reissued series or the revamp series, so I think I might go on and pick up the 2nd volume at least and give that one a try and see if I continue to really like it, because this one I ended up giving a 3.5 stars. I thought it was really fun and interesting. I was just slightly confused. There are a lot of like really interesting sort of cityscapes and things like that that I think were quite influenced by Mobius, so I'm gonna try and find one of them for you. I also really liked the use of colour. I felt like the use of colour in these pages, particularly when he's in this sort of weird underground cavern, was really beautiful. The contrast of the red and the blue was just stunning. But there are a lot of sort of sweeping panoramic viewpoints that we do get that are quite influenced by Mobius, I think. And the only complaint I do have was that the main character, John Prophet, he looked a bit like a gorilla to me, and I don't know if that's intentional or not, but he really did have a very gorilla type face, and also he always seemed to be eating, which was a little bit gross. But those are my 2 sort of minor complaints. The overall story was good and fun, but yeah, he was a little bit weird in the way that he was drawn and the way that he always seemed to be eating like some sort of meat of some weird, bizarre space animal. But that's just a minor complaint. So yeah, on the whole, 3.5 stars, and I would love to hear your thoughts. If any of you guys have heard of this or seen this or read it, let me know, because I had not heard anything about it before I began it, and I would like to know, does it get better? Hopefully, fingers crossed. And now moving on to the other graphic novel that I'm going to be reviewing. This is Lazarus Volume 1, and this is written by Lark, Arcus and Rucker. And this one is one that I was very excited to get to. I read this one as part of the TBR Takedown 2.0, and I really enjoyed this. I felt like it was so easy to get through, and the story was great. I feel like this is kind of sci-fi done well, sci-fi dystopian done well. I've not really read a sci-fi focused graphic novel series yet that has really captivated my attention, except kind of Saga, but that's kind of a blend of fantasy and sci-fi. So this one was more sort of dystopian sci-fi than it was fantasy sci-fi, and I really enjoyed this. This one blew me away in the storyline. I just felt like I wasn't expecting a massive amount of awesomeness from this. I just sort of thought maybe it'll be 4 stars, and then I went into it and I just really enjoyed it. I got really invested in the character. Our main character is called Eve because she's called Forever and it's shortened to Eve. And she's basically an engineered Lazarus, and a Lazarus is essentially a protector of the family. In this world, each region is controlled by a family who are very powerful, and they control a lot of the resources of the world, but they don't really care about the people under them. Like the general public has kind of gone to hell, and everything is just absolute terror and nastiness, so there's a lot of warfare and things going on. But the families each have a Lazarus, and the Lazarus essentially is the one that they can send out to kill people, or they can send them to defend their family or find out secret missions and things like that. And Eve is the Lazarus for the family Carlisle, and we get to follow her as she goes on this kind of adventure, and she's having a few issues. She's not really sure that she's doing the right thing by killing people just at the request of the family without any sort of context, and she's having a few moments where she's worrying about it, and we get to see that she is a real kind of person. She's not a robot as such. She has been engineered, but she is a real person with feelings, and I really connected with her as a character. I thought the artwork was really nice as well. It was just very fun, and like it was quite bloody, I will admit. Both of these are not really PG, they're mature. But I really loved it. I felt like it was so beautifully done. The whole world was created in a really succinct way, and it was easily told and easy to get through. And I just really liked the characters as well. I felt like all of them were interesting, even the bad guys. I already have a slight hatred for the bad guys, despite it only being a short book. So everything was developed really well. And I'm really looking forward to going on to the next few in this series as well, because I think the next 2 volumes in this series are also out. I'll definitely be picking those ones up, because I ended up giving this a 5 out of 5 stars. I just thought it was so fun and so great and so different to a lot of other stuff that I've read in graphic novel format, and it was just really lovely, and I just really connected with the characters, so I loved it, and I would definitely recommend this one if you guys are wondering what to pick up next in the graphic novel world. Then this one would be my recommendation out of the 2 that I just reviewed, because Prophet was interesting, but definitely Lazarus was my favourite of the 2, so that would be my personal choice. As always, please do let me know your thoughts on both Prophet and Lazarus down below, especially Lazarus, that one's my favourite, and I will talk to you all again soon in another video. Thank you all for watching. Bye! Me and you gonna have a little chat.